'Cause you're on my
If you like the drop, stick around because I'm going to show you how to get that ALLEYCVT vibe. Let's break it down step by step and let me know in the comments which artists I should cover next. Alright, so the BPM for this project is 150. I'm going to start with the drums, then going into the synths, and lastly the fills. So the drums by themselves sound like this. And it consists of a kick drum. Notice that when the kick drum is playing at the same time as the snares, I'm making a little fade in here so that it doesn't play all the way through the sample. Then I have two snares layered. So the first snare sounds like this. Second one with a kick. Then I have a hi-hat. And then a ride. I also have a drum fill playing here and in here. So, pretty common dubstep pattern. That's for the drums. Then going into the synths, I have a sidechain already in here with this utility knob. And going into the first sound, which is this one. Let me show you how that one was made. So it started with a saw wave, this LFO with this shape and rate. Sounds like that. Notice that the LFO1 is modulating the level. Then oscillator B, it has a sine wave with a little bit of harmonics, as you can see in here. I just draw the harmonics, and this is going to the bus 1 and going directly out, which means that it's not gonna pass through the filter or through the effects in here. This is just the sub portion of the sound. Then this is pretty essential for the sound. I put this high 24 filter. The LFO is automating the cutoff. Also notice that the LFO is modulating the level of oscillator 2. Cool. Now let's jump into the effects. I have this other filter. We're getting there. Then I have this single band compression, dimension, diffuser, which is helping with getting like the tonality that I wanted. And then this EQ, just cutting everything below 645 and increasing a little bit on the tops, like, or well, above 2000. Yeah. Cool, that's for that one. That's playing with this, but I will break that down when I get to the sustain part. So for now, let's keep going. Then I have this ARP, which is playing with the growl. But let's break down first the ARP. So it's 3 layers. In the group, I have amp, this EQ, and the auto pan is being enabled afterwards. Same with the gain knob in here. So with that out of the way, let's break down the first sound, which is the main ARP. I'm gonna unfreeze. And I have this arpeggiator. If I mute that, it's just like a sustain note, or like a sustain chord, I should say. This is the notes that I'm playing. And I'm doing a pitch bend automation in here. But let me show you how the sound was actually made. And for this one, actually, it's a preset that is from Serum, the factory Serum presets. It's on the synth. Neon Street Boy Poly, yeah, this one. And I just change some of the stuff, like the shape of the envelope 1 had a lot of release, so I made it shorter. And also I added extra like distortion and compression. But besides from that is exactly just the just that preset. So if you have Serum, you absolutely have it. Also, as I said, I did the pitch bend automation, but yeah, besides from that is just this preset from the factory presets on Serum. The key here is adding the arpeggiator before, and here is the settings that I'm using for the arpeggiator. And that sounds like that. This second layer, it's also actually a preset, so let me show you which one it is. And I'm sure this one I didn't touch anything. Is this lead grunging rhyme preset. So if you go to the factory, leads grunging rhyme, there you go. This is the preset that I'm using. And once again, I'm just using the arpeggiator before to create that sound or that melody, and then I'm doing the same pitch bend automation with 3 semitones going up. And lastly, I have this. So this one is simply 2 saw waves. So I have the first one and the second one. The second one is 2 octaves up. I have 12 voices of unison with this parameters, and the second one has 8 voices of unison. Sounds like that because I disabled the arpeggiator. I am doing the same pitch bend automation that I showed before, and then on the effects I put compression, reverb, and delay. Then it's just a matter of enabling the arpeggiator. There you go. Yeah. On the second part of the drop, like in the second half, I disabled the arpeggiator for a second for this part. And I'm playing like a lower octave in here. And that's how I get like that kind of like rave stabby type of hit. And then in here, I enabled the auto pan that I was mentioning before. And this gain knob as well. So this is like doing the exact same thing, but I have this auto pan enabled. And that's gonna help with the groove that is playing on the second half. So that's for the arps. Let's go now to the growl, which sounds like this. With everything else. So for the growl, I started with this wavetable position 188, and I played with the asymmetric in here. I put this LFO1 shape into the wavetable position and the asymmetrical in here, and also the level. You're gonna notice that I added a ton of different stuff to the LFO. That's how it sounds so far. Then I enable a second oscillator with this Reese wavetable from the digital folder. And I'm also playing once again with the wavetable position and the level. All right. Then this high notch filter is really important for the tonality, for getting like that angry sound basically. And what I'm doing here is playing with the cutoff and the frequency of the notch. Drive, resonance. Yeah, that really helps with the sound. Oh, something that I forgot in here. I'm using LFO2, which has this shape and this rate to modulate or to change the shape of the LFO1. So what it's doing is every other hit of the growl, it's going and changing this point to put it in here. So it's making it kind of longer. So yeah, it's a pretty nice trick just to get some variation out of your sound. Then going into the effects, I have this distortion comp filter. Then this hyper, single band compression, some curves, and then this EQ. Yeah. And if you want to get this and all of the presets that you've seen here, go ahead and check my Patreon. That's where I upload every project file from these videos. So check the link in the description if you're interested, and let's keep going. Now we go into this sustain fill. This could also work like as a longer sustain, but in the context of this drop, I just use it as a little fill in here. I have first a sub bass. This is just my sub rack. If you get the project, you'll also get the sub rack that I have. Pretty simple. Then I have this main sustain. So let me show you how that one was created. Notice that I'm using the same wavetable that I was using before. I am using phase distortion from B, this wavetable position, sounding like that, this LFO, and then I enable oscillator B, which has sync on. The warp is all the way up, and sync is at around 4%. Position 4. This is that wave. I don't know how that waveform is called. That's a triangle. I don't know what that one is. But yeah, it's this wavetable or this position of the wave. And then I enable sync. Something like that. Then I have this high notch doing that little motion. Using LFO 1 for modulating this two knobs. Then going into the effects, I have hyperdimension, diode 2 distortion with the post filter mode. Check out the values in here. Then multiband compression, diode 1. This time I'm not using the filter of the distortion. And then this EQ, which is just helping with the tonality. So that's for that one. And then I have this layer. Before I go into this one, as I said in the beginning, this one is also playing when I have this like Screamy Wub, playing with that one. And when it's doing that, I'm doing like this high cut automation just to make it like somewhat wubby, just to fit better with the movement of this one. All right, let's check out that one now. So this one is a variation of the previous one, as you can tell, because I'm using similar wavetable or the same wavetable, also phase distortion and also sync, but I changed the sync value and the phase distortion value. I'm also using this low-high filter with these values in here. And the LFO shape now looks like this. This is how it sounds without effects. So now let's go to the effects. I have distortion, diode post, those values, multiband compression, distortion again. And I changed the EQ to look like this. Yeah. That's for that one. I'm actually not using the LFO at all in this one. So the 3 layers sound like this. And now let's go into this like 1/8 section, which is playing with the ARP that already broke down. So yeah, let's go to this low section. This one is just a variation of the growl sound that I showed before. I'm just playing with the LFO in here and with the filter. But you can see that I have the same wavetables and most likely same effects. The shape now looks like this, and also I have this filter that's looking like this. Without it, sounds more like the growl. With it, sounds a little bit different. Just going through this so that you can get them right. Yeah, that's for the low section. Then going into the mid section. In here, I have the same shape. This is probably just like a duplicate of the previous one. Let me show you everything from the beginning. So saw wave, LFO1 looking like this, level being modulated, high filter. In the effects, I have another filter. Filters are important in this one. Some soft clip and distortion, then single band compression, some hyper. After hyper dimension, I have this reverb filter, really helping with the texture of it. And then this EQ just cutting the lows, just like that. Then I have this high section, which could also be a nice sustain. Check it out. But I'm using it a little bit differently in here. So outside of the patch, I have this auto pan with these values, and then the preset itself, the first oscillator is dying saw from the Serum 2 tables with this wavetable position, phase distortion from B. Then I'm gonna disable the auto pan for now. Then I have a triangle wave 4 octaves up, level all the way down, high notch filter in here, this LFO shape, envelope mode 1/8. Sounds like that. And an EQ just boosting around here for that ringy tone, and bode, which is making it kind of flutter a bit. I think it's pretty cool. And then auto pan. So the three together sounds like this. Nice. Then into the fills, I have crowd noise. Pretty simple, but pretty effective. Then I have this chant.
Check.
Pan to the left a little bit.
Check.
Then this virtual riot hype layer loop. And I have a pre-drop vocal.
'Cause you're on my...
And a riser. By the way, if you like this drop, I think you'll really love my DNet breakdown. Tap the video screen and I'll see you there.